got done with my classes a bit ago. A lot of my class got cancelled today, so I'm heading back home from university. And so today's plan is to go back home and then go to a bookstore to get the book to learn about money. Learn about money from the previous video that I talked about. So I'm gonna start understanding money more now because it's a goal of mine and I feel like I should understand it. So that's what I want to do. But before that, there's this book I read called Four Agreements. Not sure the author's name, I forgot, but he basically talks about personal freedom and how to achieve it and why people are not happy and the ways they could be happier. Okay, so the four agreements are: do not assume things, do not take anything personally, do your best, and be impeccable with your word. It's not in order, but basically it says is your word means everything. You should always be good with your word. When you say you do something, when you say you're going to do something, do it. When you have promised yourself or someone you're going to do something, you should do it because that's your word. That has value. If you say something and don't do it, there's no value in your word. No one's going to trust you. No one's going to have proper relationships with you and stuff. That's not what he says, but that's my interpretation of this part of the book. Another one is do not take anything personally. People say stuff all the time. That doesn't mean you have to take it personally. You have to be more aware of their situation and just let things go. Because, what's the point of taking things personally? If it's not going to help you, right, then might as well not have it in your mind. Because let's say someone scolds you or someone talks bad about you. What's that going to do to you? Nothing. It's going to do nothing. Only makes them worse because they're speaking bad about you. So bad's coming out of their mouth, nothing else. So don't take anything personally. There's no point. Do not assume things. If you are in doubt, ask about it, talk about it, communicate. Do not assume things. Assuming things will only make it worse. It's almost 100% of the time assuming things makes it worse. Always be clear about what you're talking about and what you want to know, and do not assume things randomly because there's no point. It'll only make things more complicated, more confusing, and so I don't see a point in it. And doing your best, I think that's very simple. The three agreements that I talked about just now, it doesn't really matter if you don't do your best. You understand? If you don't do your best at making assumptions, at not making assumptions, you're going to make assumptions, you're going to make situations worse. So, just like that, just do your best with everything you do. Do not put 50% effort into everything. Do your best. And sometimes your best may not be good enough and you have to push through more. This is my part. This is not from the book. So just always do your best and follow the agreements, because that's a good way to live life. That mindset to have, not taking things personally, I think makes you at peace a lot more, makes everything around you nicer. Not assuming things. Why do you need to assume things? Just talk to them. What are you afraid of? Talk to them, ask them what's up. And also, being impeccable with your word. If you don't talk much and you make promises less often, it'll be easier for you to be more perfect with your word. But if you talk all the time, if you make promises all the time, you're not going to be able to keep all of them. So, best thing is talk less, make less promises, but deliver on those promises. It'll just be easier for you. And once you get good at that, you can talk more. That's not an issue here. But yeah, that's basically the summary of the four agreements.